There we go. There we go. Ooh, that actually worked. Cowl sides are anchored. I can cut the center of the cowl out in theory, and hopefully nothing moves. Also, I can see my breath. It's really cold in here, so we're cutting this fast. Let's go.
Wait.
We are back on the beautiful Porsche frame swap that I am putting on a Miata chassis. In the last video, we did a lot of pulling, a lot of twisting, a lot of yanking, and I'm not talking about the Porsche body. Ha ha! Tisk, tisk. Sorry, that was a bad dad joke, but I am a dad, so technically it works. Anyways, got the body sitting on the chassis, and we realized how much damage it had. Already knew that going in, obviously. I believe a tree hit this corner, and I started getting it mounted. And whenever we had the body sitting on here, I couldn't get anything squared up just because of how bad the damage was. It's not only here in the back, the cowl was crooked. Everything was crooked. So, had to do a bunch of pulling on this baby, as you can see. This here is a little too crumpled up, and this might come off. There we go. There we go. We yanked right here. I have new quarter panels for this, so I wasn't too worried about it. I thought this tree impact was down 6 or 8 inches. Ended up being, I believe, 14. We had to pull that thing up that much just to get our trunk area squared. It's still not 100%. We still need to do a little bit of work in there. Got it all squared away. Got the rear end mounted, and I have this square back here. So what we have to do now is move ourselves forward, trying to get everything square. I wanted to start in the front and work my way back. But whenever I would get this corner squared away, that corner would twist, the front would twist, just everything is out of whack. So I needed some help from the old man. He was down here earlier today. We were kind of taking some measurements on stuff, pulling stuff, pushing stuff. He's going to come help me today or tomorrow, but I have a good idea on what I have to do. Basically, we got this side really, really close and have a clamp on it. So it's held there square from back here to the lower part of that cowl. The top cowl is still a little bit wonky. I guess it's the lower part of the rocker. This side is all true, which is good because this was the bad side, obviously. So what we got to do now, haven't mounted anything yet. I want to make sure I can get the other side squared away as well. But while I have this clamped, now is a good time to go over there. I could technically tack weld this, make a couple little mounts, but I just want to double check everything, kind of work my way over. And another thing I have to worry about is all of the damage across this cowl here. Not quite sure what happened with that. This is essentially just sheet metal. There's no bracing under this. So this I'm not too worried about, but we still want to make sure it's squared away. Right now I have this very, very tight strap holding the body all the way forward because I had it pulled. I wanted to make sure I could fit my doors on there. But I'm going to do this part last because this isn't as important since it's not super structural. Obviously, the windshield fitting is important, but this is easier to move than anything else. I basically said all that to say, let's bend and cut some shit. Yay! All right, I got it squared away. If I pull this rocker into my inner chassis panel, we'll call it. Essentially, it's the Miata floor chassis. I don't know. Everything is kind of the chassis in a unibody. If I pull this one over and make it flush, because that's what I wanted to do, this side will pop out 1.5 inches. If I pull this side over and clamp it, that side will pop over 1.5 inches. And I was sitting here thinking, the damn body is just so twisted. Something's wrong. I'm an idiot. It's just a little bit wider than where I cut the Miata. There's so much damage, I just assumed, I'm like, no, something's got to, no, I'm an idiot. So I'm going to cut some heavy duty, technically sheet metal, but I think it's 16 gauge. And I'm going to put just a little section, like a 30-inch section under here so that I have something to weld this to weld to that. I wanted to weld this straight to, like I said, the frame. It's not going to happen because the body's just a little bit wider, which is a good problem. If I pinched them both in there, we would really start changing some proportions on stuff and glass wouldn't fit. So it's good I caught it now. Also, somebody asked, if you're converting it to a coupe, why are you leaving the Targa bar, the convertible bar in there. Right now, that's the strongest point on this whole damn body, and it's the only thing I have to go off that wasn't damaged and is straight. So that's why it's staying, and that's the main reason right now the body isn't just folding in to these, which would be easier, and it would even probably look a little bit better. Good thing I didn't, because it would have just tweaked everything else later. So I said all that to say, let's cut some sheet metal and weld some shit. Okay, I got the inner rocker brace, we'll call this, welded, but I'm not going to weld it to the Porsche body just yet because I still don't trust this crooked-ass body. The poor girl's been through hell, and I'm putting it through hell, so before I weld this on, I am going to bolt this side and then work on the other side, and then we'll triple check everything, make sure our cowl is good. I want to make sure everything is level. Everything is level right now. Kind of on the other side as well, but I'm worried once this side is permanent, that side can move. I'm also worried that my cowl is going to tilt on me. So if I bolt it, not only is it easier just to weld it where it's at. Let's say it's perfect. I come in here, weld it, we're done. If it's wrong, we unbolt it, we tweak some stuff, we go from there. So that's spinning. Do I have a wrench? Will my hand work is the next question. My hand will not work. Son of a bitch. That's not the right size, but it might work. Will it work? Ha! 14 millimeter works for a 1/2 inch. It doesn't actually, but it's working right now. Now, the final test is to see what happens if we undo this. That's good. That's a good sign. And the next one is to let the jack down. Beautiful! Nothing moved. Okay. Let's go do all this shit on the other side. Yay! Another several hours of work. But it should be worth it. Hopefully. Maybe. Probably not, but it should. Got the driver's side done. Everything is square. To the chassis, to the frame, to everything as far as my hard points. What I mean by my hard points is stuff that's not ruined. Rocker, cowl to here. That's a different story. We're going to talk about that in a minute. The Targa top, perfect. And then the rear frame of the Porsche, square. So everything that is solid and intact, I guess you would say, is square. What I can do once the mounts are solid is bend everything around. This is still just a little bit low. It's only like a 1/2 inch, not as bad as I thought. But once I have these mounts solid, I can really start pulling on this and I don't have to worry about it moving. Before I had to pull on it and anchor the lower body to the bottom of the engine hoist. That way it would pull because it wasn't mounted yet. Also, I put a ton of tension on it. It would have just ripped all these mounts out. It would need to be a super solid mount to pull it that bad. Littler stuff that we need to do, we can pull pretty easy with a little ratchet strap just to kind of square it up. But here's where I'm at right now. One, I'm out of diesel for my heater. See that blinker? That means we got no heat, so it's getting cold, so I don't have a lot of time. Everything is straight here, and then the windshield frame is all square too. This is so beat up that it's just way out of whack, and I knew I needed to cut this off at some point to rework it and then reinstall it. I just didn't know when I wanted to do it. Now is going to be the perfect time because this is where my fender mounts. These are perfect side to side as far as the height. This is exactly 1 inch. It's exactly 2.5 inches from this frame. All that is the exact same on both sides. If you come here and look at the middle is so wonky. I thought this was high for like the longest time. My eyes were just throwing me off. Tape measure looks great. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's because this has so much damage right in here that this has popped up and then that is sunk down real big. But solid part where there's actually bracing where my fender mounts is all the exact same side to side. So I said all that to say I am going to weld some sort of plate in here to hold this steady, and then I'm going to cut this off right there. Don't want to very badly because that's windshield stuff that can change, but I have to get it out so that I can straighten it. I couldn't straighten it before whenever the body wasn't mounted. I kind of hammered it around to get it close, and it just was flopping all over the place on me. So now that the body is anchored, it'll be easier to know where I need to straighten this. It has a crown to it like that. So yeah, I said all that to say I'm going to weld some shit in here. Maybe cut this off tonight. I don't know. I'm already getting cold. The heater's been off for 30 seconds. But either way, we should be able to get this welded to it so we can start cutting that. It's getting cold. My nose is running. Let's go fast. Cowl sides are anchored. I can cut the center of the cowl out in theory, and hopefully nothing moves. Also, I can see my breath. It's really cold in here, so we're cutting this fast. Let's go. Because I was worried that was gonna just start buckling and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's actually still perfect. I could weld that bitch right back in. I wouldn't, because the old girl is hammered. Oh my gosh. Even the vent on the other side is smoked. All right, so tomorrow, oh my God, look at the wind. Look at the windshield. That's not good. That windshield would have never fit. Tomorrow we'll straighten this baby out, get it put back in there. While this is out of the way, I can brace this in a lot better too, because I can't get under it, obviously. And we need to trim some of this, clean this up. Now would be the perfect time to do that as well. We definitely need to fix that. Oh, I would buy this new, but knowing Porsche, this is $4,000 or something stupid. So we'll straighten it. I am freezing. We'll be back tomorrow.
The next day.
All right, baby, we are back. We're at the other shop. I put diesel in the heater at the big shop, and it's still not working. So that's fun. That's going to make getting the video out on Friday damn near impossible. I think it might just be the little filter that they have in them. It probably needs cleaning because it's so dusty in there. I run into that with this one all the time. But it's like negative 10 degrees out right now, so it's hard to want to take that apart and mess with the filter whenever it's that cold. Brought this here to the small shop, the home shop, which is actually okay because my planishing hammer is here. We have a bigger air compressor that the planishing hammer likes to use a lot of air, so it's better to be here anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and fix it here and we'll figure that shit out later. I'm looking at this piece. I don't need this vent anymore because I'm not gonna be using it. I also don't need the windshield wipers or the windshield washer fluid sprayer. That probably has a nozzle, windshield washer nozzle. I don't need any of that. I don't know if I'm going to shave that right now, but I am going to get rid of this because it's going to make straightening this out harder, and it's just going to be in my way. I don't even know how the hell the damn thing is held on. Oh, there's 16 million spot welds, it looks like. Yay, that's going to be fun. Let's get this stupid thing out of there and then start trying to straighten. Look at that piece of shit. Oh, this is not going to be fun. We got to do what we got to do. Let's get to work, baby. Did not realize we were going to be doing this for like 2 hours, but holy crap, here we are. Got it! Okay, finally, holy crap. Even if we cut all this out and put a piece of metal there, which I'm going to do, I still had to get that out of the way just so I could get behind it. And let me tell you, Porsche, whoever was doing spot welds whenever they were assembling this in 1982, that guy must have had a supervisor over his shoulder because he was like, we're going to do 237 spot welds instead of 15. Damn. Okay. Now, finally, we start straightening this crooked bastard. Actually getting this squared away pretty damn well. The wiper holes are in the way, so I think I'm going to drill them out and cut them out. Probably shouldn't, but It is what it is. Let's keep going. Okay, it's not even straight yet. It's closer, but I still need to run it through the planching hammer. But I spent basically the whole night on this stupid thing. But damn, it's a lot better than it was. I would be an idiot to not get this perfectly straight and also weld these up while it's off the car. It's going to be 10 times easier. We might as well make it perfect. Just don't know if this video is going to get done now, but sometimes it happens. We'll be back. I'm going to bed.
The next day.
I've got the planching hammer out. Obviously, hammer is in the name, so if you don't know what it does, it hammers, but it's an air hammer. So whereas I'm tapping with the hammer, you know, once a second, this thing will hit 100 times in a second or whatever. So it can really smooth stuff out a hell of a lot better than you can do it by hand. You can still do basically any metalworking by hand, but there's obviously tools that make it quicker, easier. These are real cheap too. These are like $100. I've had this thing, I've probably had this for 10 years at this point. The only problem is the old girl's been sitting underneath the desk for the last several months, and she got some water on her, got a little rust, so my dies are all rusted and pitted, and these are essentially the hammer part of the hammer. So everywhere that hits, if my dies aren't perfect, if they're chewed up, if they have marks, they will put that into the metal. Not that big of a deal if you have a chip in your hammer or a dent in your hammer and you're only hammering 10 times. If you're hammering 10,000 times, that obviously can get a lot worse, a lot quicker. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I actually have a hammer right here that's a little chewed up. I'm gonna make it more chewed up, and I'm gonna give you an example, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Let me show you. All right, scrap piece. Obviously nothing to brag about, just laying on the floor over there, but you can see it's smooth, doesn't have anything wrong with it. I'm gonna put a dent in this, because this one's already beat to hell. I need to grind it down anyway, but... Ooh, the hammer might be harder than the vise. No, we got some good dings in there, okay? Check this out. Look at how chewed up that is. That is beat all to hell. And those, since you're hitting, obviously, are deeper than just the face of the hammer. Those are actually dug into the metal quite a bit. So by the time you grind all these down, you're going to turn this piece of 18 gauge into a piece of 20 gauge because you're going to have to just sand the living shit out of it. If you want them out, who gives a shit? If it's just a car we're trying to get back on the road, no big deal. Put a little Bondo in there. But if you're going as far as using a planching hammer and trying to do metal work real nice, we obviously don't want that. So if they're not real bad, this one was already bad even before I hit it. I'll have to hit this with like 36 grit and then work my way up. But if you're just getting light stuff off like this, you can use like 800 grit, 400 grit. I think I have 400 right here. Actually didn't check. 400 should be fine. And then what you want to do, that's actually pretty good right there, but what you want to do is you actually want to work that all the way up to a polish, make it chrome. It doesn't have to be perfect. You really just don't want any dents in it. 400 doesn't really leave enough scratches to catch on your metal, at least in my experience. But super, super nice shops that do amazing work. If you ever look at all their dollies, they will all be chrome because they'll just polish them up. I mean, I'm talking get the buffer out, make them perfect. I'm gonna probably hit this with some 800 real quick, just in case, but in reality, that's good enough. So, I'm gonna clean these up for 2 seconds, and then we're gonna start planishing, baby. The heater's running, and so is the air compressor, but I'm about to make way more noise than they make, so screw it. Let's go. Also, this is adjustable. You can make it taller or shorter, depending on what you're working on. Oh my God, it's already looking 10 times better. All right, I'm gonna time lapse this for a little bit. This looks so damn good. Oh my gosh! This part's still shot, but I'm not worried about that right now. I do need to get these welded in, and I gotta clean this up now. You always want to put a little bit of transmission fluid, PB Blaster on it whenever you're doing this, so it's not just metal to metal, because it'll start stretching a little too much. But this looks so good. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's friggin' perfect. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I'm gonna do that for another 15 minutes, and then we'll grind it down and run it back through the planishing hammer again, because it works really good smoothing out welds. She's welded, looking good, but I'm gonna run it through one more time with the planishing hammer just to smooth out. Whenever you weld it, it shrinks the metal. It gets real hot, and this is a perfect way to stretch it back out real quick. Let's see what happens. Perfect. Got a little bit here, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm worried. Since we have windshield and hood situation, I want to make sure both of those are on before we get too crazy with it, but that's pretty damn good for what we needed. Let's go install it. Sweet. We are back down at the big shop. Now it is time to install this baby. Since we cut it, it's going to be just a little bit too short, but since I worked on it at the other shop, it could technically be a lot too short if we made it too curvy. But I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I need to get this ground down, ready to weld. Clean up all this freaking old rubber and shit off of there. And then we'll start fitting it, see how close it is. Hopefully it's really close, because that's windshield type stuff, which is kind of important. I don't know, let's grind some shit. This is perfect. It's hard to do one-handed, but on both sides I have essentially a cut-off blade's width. Money. Took a little bit of how you doing, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't just throw it up there straight off the planishing hammer, but only took a couple minutes. Smooth out a couple things. Sweet! Oh, can't believe this whole video is me messing with this stupid bastard, but oh, it looks so good. I'm going to have to put it side by side after it's welded, because let me tell you, she was a wadded up piece of shit. All right, let's weld some stuff. that thing was. Oh, yes. The body is officially mounted and pretty damn square, if I do say so myself. Well, I spent basically the last 2.5 days mounting the body, which is beyond annoying, and then that thing was a giant pain in the ass, but it was either do it now or don't do it, essentially, because I needed that mounted so that we can start figuring out our hood. I do have a hood, but it is a piece of shit. But it should technically still have the right shape to it, kind of. I'm going to get a different hood. But, yeah, not the best. But super happy with how squared up everything is. Oh, my God, it looks 10 times better than it did before. Also, ended up making some more room here, which was nice. Not the end of the world, but, you know, an extra inch here, an extra inch there. Before you know it, stuff is starting to fit a little bit better. So that's nice, because what we'll do now is I can cut this down, and then this is like a double hump. That hump almost lines up exactly with the old rocker, or with the Porsche rocker. So it'll just go straight in. You won't have like a kick up there. Oh, starting to look like something. This is probably going to be the end of this video, just because I don't want to miss a Friday upload, even though it's going to be extremely late. I don't want to add all this shit on to whatever my next video is going to be, because I really want to cut the quarter panels off, start on the coupe roof. I'm so excited about the coupe roof, but I got to do the quarter panels first. But, oh, that's nice. These could technically be welded now too, but I think I'm just going to leave them bolted just in case something needs tweaked. There's no reason it should now, because we're mounted in the front, in the back, and on the sides, but doesn't hurt anything having it bolted currently. But technically that could be welded. But I'll leave it unbolted for now, just in case for some odd reason whenever I cut the rocker off, or the quarter panel off, I need to move something. I shouldn't, but I will definitely have to get it welded whenever we do the rocker panel, because I have the whole rocker, but most likely I am not going to cut into this. I'll cut the rocker right back in there and then shape it. And we'll probably have to do some bracing for that. I want to do the quarter panels first, so that way I'll have something super solid, and I'll tie this into this here, so that none of this will want to move on me whenever I cut the rocker out. So, chassis swaps are a lot of work, and they're a lot of extra work whenever they are bented like a damn pretzel. The girl's twisted, I'll be honest with you, but she is looking pretty damn good now. That is square to that, and that is square to the windshield. Oh, I can't tell you how happy I am. I mean, it's like 40 hours worth of freaking work, which is boring and stupid, but it's mint-ish. Kind of mint-ish. It's a Porsche body on a Miata chassis, but I'm happy. So this was kind of a shit show video. Not a full-blown shit show video, but like a semi-shit show. I'm still extremely happy. It actually looks like a Porsche body on a chassis, instead of just being like a broken body on a broken chassis. Now it kind of is starting to look like a car. The poor thing was just beat all to hell. And like I said, chassis swaps are kind of tricky to get them square anyway. And then you throw in the fact, a lot of damage, a lot of cutting, a lot of just beating the hell out of the thing. Also, I think for 10 years it's been cut up and moved around, and I know when I threw it on the trailer, we kind of had to bend it in there a little bit, so I'm probably as much to blame as the last 5 owners, but so happy to get that done. I know this video is already running late, but semi-shit show video happens. I mean, I'm missing a front tooth. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a shit show human being. I don't know. Oh, it's getting fixed on Monday, so that's going to be fun. Oh, speaking of that, it's going to be expensive. Go to Caseyscustoms.com for the coolest merchandise on the planet. Go buy something. Help out the Fix Your Shitty Smile fund, we can call it, I guess. If you are not subscribed, please hit that button now. Helps the channel grow a bunch. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all the good shit they tell you in videos. Check out some of my other videos. God, it looks so good. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, I gotta go. Love you. Have a great weekend. Bye.